Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is just work on the nose. So we're going to go down and start to fill that in. It's going to be really tricky, but we can do it. So we're going to start with the cold grey one. Actually, what we might do is just go through with the walnut brown. Yes, and we'll just start to add in all of these little details we can see, so then we can go over and do base, the same sort of thing that we did around here. So trying to figure out where everything goes is the hardest bit. So this is this bit, and then there's like a bit here, a bit here, and then another bit that sort of comes around the side, something like that. This bit comes up the ridge and across. So just really lightly, because we're just mapping it out. You don't want to go in too crazy at this point. This we've already put in, and then this line here goes from the middle up around. Then this one goes up here. And there's like two lines up here. This one here goes around like that. Like this, and then there's more sort of wrinkles on this side of the face. Like that. Then here, like that. And remember as well, like it's good to have everything in the right spot and things like that, but you know, no one's gonna know if wrinkles aren't in the right spot or they're different sizes and things like that. So try not to get too stressy about it. Says me, and then takes 5 minutes to do it, 5 hours to do it. And then so this bit here then goes like that. Another little line here. This dent here, then here. And then that goes down into the nostril section, straight across here. Down here. It's very strange looking shapes, but just pay attention to the reference photo. Then down like this. This way. And then this bit here. Up like this. Like that. And remember, always make it smaller than it needs to be, because you can always extend it out, make it bigger. If you make it too big, it's really, really hard to make things smaller. So just filling that in really lightly. We'll probably need to use the colour pencil solvent later for that, for this sort of area. Maybe we might get away with not, but not a big deal if we have to. In here. So, and then up here, there's sort of a whole heap of random like shading. So just do that really kind of lightly. This section here is darker. Okay. Up here, and this goes to probably around here. Like that. And then let's do a base of the cold grey one. So just really lightly doing a base over this whole thing. There's no sort of direction like when you're doing the fur and that sort of thing. There's like a fur direction, but it's no sort of fur direction on this one. So just going like really light shading. You can even do like circular motions to make sure. We just want to get it like nice and smooth. Over here we'll just erase a little bit of this line. It's really orange on this left hand side of the line. And we'll just keep it sort of above the nostrils for now. above the nostrils. because the mouth and the rest of it is going to be a whole nother ordeal. But this texture that we've done under the eyes and on top of the head is what we're trying to achieve on this mouth. So I think we'll do a nice base of this, and then we can add in some of the sky blue, the same as what we've done underneath the eyes and at the top. Go over this. We can add in some of the sky blue, which seems a little bit odd, but it really just helps to bring in the lighter tone. So just really lightly, it's bluer sort of over the left hand side. And as we go onto the right hand side, it gets a little bit more of that nougat color. So just really lightly holding your pencil on the side so that you're not putting down too much color. Really hope you can't hear my dog snoring too much. She's very loud. Over here. Okay, and then we can get some of the nougat, wherever that is, here. So then we can go down and just start to get a little bit darker. Starting at the top, so just very, very lightly. Remember to go in with really light layers. You don't want to go in too heavy at all. If you need to do more layers and make it darker, just go over with more layers, not more pressure. It'll help you to be able to get down more layers. Do a couple little dots here and then just blend over. Dots. I think we're going to have to pull this over a little bit too. Down here. It's a little bit darker here. And then just above, as the nose comes up, up here, couple little dots here, and then blend it out. So this section up here gets quite dark. This line is a lot thicker. Up here, some little dots. Blend it out, and then over here comes out, and then there's like a little bit of a indent, I guess, in the skin. And then as it goes down here, it's like really dark. Here. So there's lots of like little bumps in the skin over here. Here. Okay, and then we need to go through with another layer of the cold grey one. So the same as what I've done with the cheeks and the top of the head. You just want to go over and build up the layers really, really gradually so that they become nice and smooth eventually. If you don't have enough layers, you won't be able to get it nice and smooth. So just holding the pencil like nice and lightly on the side. You don't want to go in with a really hard pressure or anything. We just want to get down a heap of nice smooth layers. In here. Okay, and then we can go in and start to get a little bit darker with the walnut brown. So we need to pay attention to where you can see all these darker bits. And start to bring these wrinkles down. This one needs to be smaller. This one is darker. It's like a semicircle. And then line up here. Line over here. So just using the sharpest point on the pencil to get the details in, because this whole texture is just sort of like this side, which makes it really tricky. This one's like a circle, and then this one's a bit darker. This one's quite dark. So then we'll go back through up here and eventually get darker with the black. Some little dots in here. Up here. There's heaps of little like details in the skin here. Oh, it's so confusing here. And then here. No, that's not right. So this bit is here. Darker dots. Then this bit is here. This bit is here. And this bit is not meant to be here. So what we'll do is get the eraser. Here. And we'll break all the rules and erase something. Everyone makes mistakes, and then this bit goes like this, like that. Here, and then this one here. This one here. Some little dots up here. Okay, and then we'll go over and just go over with the cold grey one again, because I need to fix that. A little bit of the sky blue, lightly on the side. Cold grey one. And no one will ever know. Over here. Okay, and then we can go and start to get a little bit darker. We'll use some of the black. Okay, so here, 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 this bit, through there, and do a couple little like lines in there to break it up. Like that. Need an eraser, does nothing. And then here, some really thin sort of lines through here. In here. It's not as much of a line here, just a little bit of shading. And this bit down like this. And then blend it out a little bit. So then this bit gets darker here. There. And then comes up here. And it's a little bit more of a reddy tone, so I'm going to use some of the red violet. Just to help it get a little bit darker. And this side of the face is really dark. Okay, and then we'll get a little bit more of the nougat, no, black, and go here, here, blend it out a little bit, here, and this goes like around softly. Extend this out. Some little dots here. Up here. There's some little lighter dots in here, so I'm just leaving those a little bit free. Really lightly here. Dots. Up here. These lines are all really thin. And then this one, a little bit darker there. So there's like this darker line. And then underneath that is brown. So we use the walnut brown. And leaving this section at the top white. Goes in there. This bit is darker. Some little dots in here, black. A little bit darker. And then we can use the black just to blend this out a bit. Oh, we're back. So, nougat? No. Yes. Nougat down here. Get a little bit darker here. Start to put in a little bit of this brown tone. A little bit here. Just where we can see sort of any of this brown sort of texture. And there's some like little marks and stuff. So we'll put in a couple of little sort of dots. And then sort of blend them out. Do some little lines. Walnut brown. So just really lightly getting a little bit darker here and then blending it out. Little dots here, a couple of lines here, blending it out. Up here. It's quite dark sort of over here. Alright, so what we need to do as well is just keep building up this white tone. So going back over with the cold grey one, just really lightly, again, just so that you can build up the layers. Don't go in with too hard pressure. And this time we're sort of going left to right rather than up and down, just so we can cover different parts of the paper. And this is where, like, we're not burnishing it yet, which means that we're pushing down really hard and smushing it all together. We're just still gradually blending to get it nice and smooth. Because here it's sort of like that really shiny, smooth white texture of the skin, like the lights, where the light's hitting it. Especially around here. It's really tricky sort of colour to get. Going with a little bit more of the sky blue, especially on the left hand side. In here. Down here. And then there's sort of like little sections in here that are a little bit bluer, so we're just going to focus on them rather than doing a full shade over everything. Kind of what we did on the head. It just helps, blue helps whiter look whiter. Doesn't make sense, but it's true. True story. Okay. What we can do now, go in with the cold grey 3. I love like picking up the warm grey 3 and then being like, it's the cold grey 3, but it's not. But this is the cold grey 3. So what we're going to do is just start to add in some of these little details that you can see. So the skin up here is more like there's little pores, I guess you can say. So it's not really smooth. There's like little pores in the skin. So good at explaining stuff. Up here, little dots, but you don't want it to be fully dark, just like hints of it, you know. Yeah, it's a bit darker. Go in here. here. Blends this out a little bit. Here. Some little dots here. So we'll do some like little dots and then sort of blend them out a little bit. It's sort of like little dimples on the skin here. Darker over here. Blend this out. Some little lines. So what we can do as well is use our Prismacolor white pencil. Used it before, and blend down this white a little bit. So just where you can see like the lightest, whitest sections to help make it nice and smooth. Blend it down. Up here. Alright, and then we'll go back through with the walnut brown and start to add in some more of those little details. Maybe we'll start over here. Or maybe we'll go with the black and start to darken these nostrils so we can get the right shape. So sort of goes like this. So when you're filling in this sort of black section, you don't want to go in with a real hard pressure or anything. Just go over with a lot, like a couple more layers, rather than really ruining the paper. And we can use the colour pencil solvent to blend it down later if we need to. Around like this. Like that, and then we can get the walnut brown and start to blend it out. So it's not like a solid line, so we're just going to do sort of little sort of squiggles and some dots up here to create that like uneven texture. And it's quite grey up here too, so we can use some of the Cold Grey 3 again. Just blending it up. And then black across here. Across here. Lift the pressure off to make it a little bit lighter. Let's go the nougat over here. Start to get darker. So there's like this black line across here, and then like a white dot at the very tip of this black line, and then it goes to like a nougat color. So we'll go around that white dot, and then this section is really black. Up here. More nougat. There's a couple of like little dots here, so I'm going to use the embossing tool. Here it is. Clean it off to make sure it's not dirty, and then just dot, dot. Nailed it. And then just going over lightly, and you'll be able to see that they sort of stay light. And then up here. And then the walnut brown at the very edge. Starting to get darker. So remember, just going in with more layers, not more pressure. And this side is tricky because it's really grey, so we're going to use some of the Cold Grey 5. To go around here. Some marks here. And then just sort of like really little details. And I just feel like the nostrils need to go up a little bit more, maybe. So we'll go really lightly circular motions, just pulling it up a little bit, because it's like the ridge of the nose. And then here. More little details. Up here. Couple little lines going across. Getting darker here. There's a little bit of nougat colour here too. And then black in the middle of these. Walnut brown. Do some little dots around to get little darker bits. Make it a bit bigger. Darker. And this one is quite a lot bigger. So like that, and then it goes down. And it goes to like here, and then the nose is there. So I feel like I need to bring it up a bit. Something like that. Nougat. Some more little like details in here. Let's go the cold grey 3. This is the right one. Little dots in here. Little details, nougat. Some more nougat around here. Black. And then just slightly lift the pressure of the pencil so you can bring it out. Get a little bit darker here. Just above these dots that we put in, we're going to put a little black bit. So it creates like a bit of a shadow. Alright, and then we're going to go some sky blue. A little bit more over here. And then cold grey 3. Put in some little like details. And then the very edge of this is like really nougaty. So we're just going to go really lightly, small circular motions to put in that like light shine, I guess. So going back up the top, we'll go back up here. So with the black, go around here, do some like little dots to put in a bit of this texture. There's a couple of like little circles there. Darker line here. Blend that down. Bit darker here. Some little dots in here and maybe more nougat. Walnut brown. And then here. some little lines coming over. Maybe even some black, really lightly with like the very sharp tip of the pencil. Up here. Bring this up a little bit. Alrighty. And then a little bit more of the nougat. In here. So it's sort of like very uneven texture. Sharp point of the pencil, putting in some little details. And then here with the Cold Grey 3. A little bit of detail in there. Up here, walnut brown. And blend this out. Warm grey, Cold Grey 3. Just put in a little bit of this to break it up. Blend out some of this, a little bit of nougat. Black. So up here, really sharp point of the pencil, do some little dots. Up here. Dots in here, little details. Blend it out. Like this. Okay. Do some of the nougat. In here, getting a bit darker. Bringing this up a little bit. And this in here. Definitely not loving the shape of the nose. I feel like it's off a little bit. It's a little line sort of here. Lighter section here. Nougat. Some dots in here getting darker. Walnut brown and black. Sharp point of the pencil. So I think we'll go with a little bit more cold grey one. Just in these lighter areas, and we'll blend it down a little bit more. Just to make it nice and smooth. And we can also go in with some of the walnut brown. Make this a little bit darker. And black. Oh, we're back. And little details up here. Blend it out a little bit. Then we can go some of the nougat. Blend this out. God. So up here, get this a little bit darker with the nougat. In here. In here. And black. Some more little details. So just really, really lightly with the black pencil and thicken this up a little bit and blend it out. Walnut brown, or black even. black, a little bit darker black. So sometimes if you want like a section to appear lighter, so we want this to be really light, we just need to make around it a little bit darker, and that'll give the illusion that it's sort of a little bit lighter. We'll go the Cold Grey 3. Up here. In here. Coming up that way. Blending this down here with the black. So this goes like this, and then there's like a line here, up like that. Like this. And sometimes it makes it easier when you just think about it as of shapes. So look at the shapes that everything is making, and then you just try and mimic the shape that you can see. It makes it a little bit easier to sort of figure out where everything goes and find where everything should be. Cold Grey 3, darker down here. So around here is a little bit darker. And just under this black line is quite dark. Like that, and then this goes more into like a point, and up here, darker up here. Darker up here. A little bit darker here, and then we can go in with we'll do the polychromos white. Blend this down. Make it nice and smooth, and we want to keep this sort of tip of the nose really white. Alright, but I think we're going to call it for the day. It's getting late. But, ooh. This is going to be a real full-time tutorial on my Patreon, so if anyone's interested, you can sign up there, and this will be available to be completed as a tutorial. But that's in the light, makes it a little bit easier to see. Still a lot to go down here. It's not done yet. Don't judge yet. Don't judge too soon. It's not finished. But yeah. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.